we had talked about using Brooklyn to get an appraisal.
Okay.
I mean, this is a lot of money.
Okay.
So,
It's not a dollar.
hell no, that's ridiculous.
Who is? You turn that on, Tom? It's on. Okay. The press and the Down Beach Current were notified of this meeting. A copy of same was posted on the bulletin board in the municipal building and on the municipal website. The meeting will come to order. Would you please stand for the flag salute? Attention, salute. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Would you call the roll, please?
Mr. Becker?
Yes.
Mr. Blumberg?
Here.
Ms. Taube?
Here.
We have before us the minutes of our November 7th meetings. What is your pleasure?
I'll make a motion we approve the minutes.
I'll second.
Mr. Becker?
Yes.
Mr. Blumberg?
Yes.
Ms. Taube?
Yes.
Is there any public comment?
Sewell 22 West Drive. Once again, Mayor, the incidents of fatal and near-fatal deaths by pit bull have made the news. In fact, this news happened to carry over the pond to the Daily Mail of the UK, where a woman in North Carolina was killed by two pit bulls. And the Connecticut was even perhaps interesting in the sense that it was commented on that death in North Carolina by saying it was particularly gruesome. But of course the one in Connecticut couldn't have been much worse, Mayor, because the woman had her arm chewed off by the pit bull, and then the pit bull proceeded to chew off her hand, her other hand on her other arm. So the woman is left a double amputee. In both cases, these dogs were raised from puppies. And in one case, where the woman was killed, she was trying to feed the dogs. So you feed these puppies and you end up dead. It's only a matter of time. It's not if, but when we have a serious problem with pit bulls. And since we have very lax laws, Mayor, which you refuse consistently to enforce, the one that should be enforced on a routine, regular basis is the state mandated, that's mandated, Mayor, as in must, canine census. I handed out several weeks ago a handout in which it was a revenue stream for a very small town of 35 additional thousands of dollars. Likewise, Mayor, this antiquated rule, the 72-hour rule where people can come into town with their pit bulls and not have them registered, they may not have current rabies vaccinations, exposes the public to extreme danger. And you three commissioners continue to sit on your hands and not take any affirmative action. I think it's time to take action, Mayor. 1, get this canine census up and running. 2, everybody who wants to walk their dog in Margate will buy, B-U-Y, revenue stream, a dog tag. It's wonderful if Berger's online dog tag system works out. That'll be great, Mayor. Secondly, Mayor, while we're addressing and petitioning the governor, we should also petition the governor and the legislature to enact and enforce Lillian's Law of Texas. That was a case where the husband was inside the air-conditioned home, having a few beers, watching the football game, and the poor wife was out on the lawnmower. Now, the pit bulls next door didn't like the noise from the lawnmower, so they decided to jump the fence and kill poor old Lillian. So apparently, the inebriated husband, when he sobered up, realized that perhaps getting the good-for-nothing Texas legislature to enact Lillian's Law might be a good idea. I think people who have pit bulls should be held to a standard where they are liable for the mayhem and death that is induced by these animals repeatedly. These two occurred almost within a week of each other in the beginning of November. And they're only the tip of the iceberg. Perhaps Commissioner Torby might want to Google pit bull deaths and see that there are literally thousands of them. And they're extraordinarily dangerous, far more dangerous than Mr. Sewell. So perhaps you might want to look out for your children by enacting the jaw strap, the cloth jaw strap, $5, non-intrusive. That dog can drink, can eat, he can even lick you to death. But he can't rip your child's jugular vein out in a millisecond or two. So why don't we do something that really benefits our citizens, particularly the elderly and the tender-aged children, and in the process, generate an income stream? I think it's a fine and dandy idea, Mayor. So let us petition for Lillian's Law to be enacted up in Trenton, ASAP. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, John. Anyone else?
I just wanted to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving and remind us all that as much as we're up here discussing things all the time, we're very fortunate in Margate to live in our city. We have a healthy city and we don't have most of the problems most other cities have. So we have a great stream of income coming in and building and a lot of services and a lot of good people. So everybody should have a happy Thanksgiving. Thank you.
Thank you. Same to you and to everyone. Anyone else?
I'm going to make it very short.
Thank you, Joe.
I want to begin by first thanking our city fathers and our commissioners for their insight and their wisdom and their respect for allowing the people of Margate, the population, the public, to have their own voice in the decision-making process of whether or not to shore up the ocean front with sand. This is going to be something that's going to go on for a while because, as you know, the governor has already stated his position, and your governor may be president in a couple of years, so it's very possible that he's going to make an example of Margate for voting against something that he pretty much wants to have done. So I wish you all a lot of courage and a lot of luck. You'll probably see him, maybe even in person you might get a chance to meet him. But I want to give you something that you can use as a tool, because I don't like to come up here and waste your time with my fine words. About a year and a half ago, I acted as co-producer on a film called Shored Up, S-H-O-R-E-D-U-P, along with the Emmy-nominated award-winning filmmaker Ben Kalina, K-A-L-I-N-A. And I give you those spellings so you can look them up on the internet. We did an award-winning film documentary called A Sea Change, which talked about the acidification of the oceans and the building of carbon dioxide in our atmosphere. We really were the first to alert a lot of the people in the scientific community. The bottom line is, I'd like you to have the option to see and hear from experts for and against the proposed plan to build sand dunes. But in one sitting, less than 1/2 an hour, I can provide you with a private viewing. We had recently shown at the Ocean City Library. We had a great turnout. We had city council, some commission members showed, and we're very pleased with the kind of reception that we had. But what you'll see is Dr. Norbert Sudi, Orrin Pilkey, Stuart Farrell, names that you've all heard of, and even some of our local citizens, Glenn Klotz, John Cullen, the great surfer. You'll see Surfrider Foundation. You'll see proponents from the Army Corps of Engineers. You'll see people from various communities who are very much in favor of building the sand dunes. Mayors, commissioners with vested interests in the safety and the security of their citizens. And then you'll have a chance to see a broad view, a very fair and balanced, I think, approach, scientifically and in terms of safety and recreation, to what the situation is. So please let me know if you'd like to have a look at that. Either I can arrange for it, or maybe Glenn. He is also in the film, so he knows how to get a hold of the producer. And we're planning some limited showings in certain areas, but for a half an hour's worth of your time, you'll get a tremendous education. And this man has really accomplished a lot. And he did it on his own. He had no backing in the making of the film. He went out and raised the funds and did it on his own. Very well done. Thank you. My name is Captain Joe Fogel, former Margatian and currently living in Summers Point. I love the city of Margate. I love what these commissioners and all of you hardworking people do. I call you the volunteers because no matter what you make, it ain't enough.
Thank you, Joel. Any other public comment?
Bill Phillips, 8201 Amherst Avenue. Greatly, I have a question, and my question is what it's going to take to have the police be a little bit more vigilant to the speeding and the stop sign abuse around the city, specifically on Amherst and Huntington. Both those areas, after a while, it looks like it's a highway. You know, the people racing up and down Amherst, racing up and down Huntington, running the stop signs. You would hope they would stop at least one of the stop signs, but most of the time they run by both of them. And I'm not the only one that's complained about this. It's an ongoing situation. I've written several letters on the situation, and nothing changes. It still continues to be an issue. And sooner or later, someone's going to get killed. And I don't understand what it's taking so long for somebody to step up to the plate and be a little bit more responsible.
You have a similar issue at Huntington and Fulton also.
Yeah. You know, it's just getting old. And, you know, honestly, I really have more important things to do than to bother you guys with letters and complaints about the speeding and the stop sign abuse. And I've complained enough. And like I said, are we waiting for somebody to get killed before somebody steps up to the plate?
Bill, give Mill, because you and I have talked many
Yes.
times about this. Give me one more shot at, let's see if we can,
I'm sorry?
give us one more shot
Okay.
to come up with some sort of comprehensive plan. I would like to see this for the entire city, and I've told you this before. In front of my house, it's the same thing. I mean, we get people running the stop sign, speeding down the street to get to the bridge. So let me get together with Chief Wilson and his people, and I'll get
Well,
back
a
to you.
couple things, because I've recommended a couple issues. Number one is the blinking red light on Huntington and Edgemore to get people to stop there. I walk across that street with my dog and have people run the stop sign either in front of me or behind me. And I've seen kids going to the park. Don't ever try to walk across Amherst in the crosswalk with an oncoming car. You're taking your life in your own hands. And I know other people have complained about it. But honestly, most of their comments are, the police don't give a damn. And that's what the neighbors tell me. And I've had letters that specifically sent in a letter with a lot of the neighbors signed it about the same issue. You've sat on my porch at my request and watched the speeding and the stop sign abuse on a regular basis. I've requested people sitting there and monitoring the stop sign. I've seen it happen maybe 2 or 3 times. But they put the police car where the people can see them instead of hiding a little bit. So why not put an unmarked car there? And then when they do run the stop sign, get up and do something. I've seen police cars sitting in that street and the Galactic Stupid running the stop sign in front of the police cars and nothing happens. I've questioned the police officers that have been sitting there, why aren't you going after them? Their comment, what do we care? And that's what I get. That's what I get. So, you know, and why isn't there a stop sign somewhere in Amherst? The school in Amherst has no stop sign around it. It's the only school in the city that doesn't have a stop sign. And people know that that northern part of Amherst, the north of Jerome, has no stop sign, so they'll take that as a shortcut and run back and forth. And Huntington isn't any better.
Mike, I want to weigh in here. Number one, just to defend the police department a little bit, for you to say that the police say that they don't give a damn is,
I haven't seen anything.
I believe, disrespectful to our police department.
You know what?
I was Commissioner of Public Safety for 4 years. I can tell you to a man, everyone in that police department, from the bottom to the top, gives a damn. And so for you to say that they've been told, that somebody's been told that they don't give a damn about traffic safety is just not true. It's false. I can also tell you, Bill, that we did a comprehensive study of speeding right in front of your house and found nothing like what you're saying happens.
Those
and I'm going to
machines-
tell you...
those machines
Okay,
were
the
off and
machines
not
are wrong.
working.
The machines are wrong.
Yeah.
I can tell you that we looked at and commissioned a traffic study for stop signs around Thai School and found and was recommended by professionals that it couldn't be done in a safe manner, so we didn't do it. So a lot of the points you're making are unfounded. Yes,
Really?
in my opinion.
Okay,
Now,
that's your opinion,
finally,
and you can keep your opinion. You got to let me finish now.
Okay.
But the comment was made that the average speed was 20.5 miles an hour. That's mathematically impossible. That would mean half the people would be going 5 or 10 miles an hour.
I think I've made my point.
Yeah. I've seen your trucks run both stop signs, okay? So let's get, you know, why don't you tell your own people to stop the stop signs as well? Jersey Store running stop signs, okay? So the bottom line is I'm just telling you what other neighbors have told me is that their attitude is that the police doesn't give a damn. I would like to think that's a little bit different, but that's not what's happening. They're running stop signs, they're speeding up and down the streets, and all you need to do is walk the neighborhood. Which one of you have walked the neighborhood and asked the neighbors their comments about the 20.5 miles an hour speeding on Amherst? None of you. All right, so say what you want, and you can stick up for whoever you want, but the bottom line is the speeding and the stop sign continues. I sat there for 45 minutes and took videos of 20 people running the stop sign. 45 minutes, 20 people running the stop sign. A picture's worth 1,000 words. There's 20,000 of them. So let's step up to the plate and do something.
Phillips, you came in to see me this morning, I didn't even know.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
You came in to see me this morning, I didn't even know who you were.
Yeah.
And you asked for some lines to be painted.
Oh, and by the way, thank you for that.
For what I
They're there already.
Right.
Yeah.
I thought 8 hours was a pretty good
Yeah, no.
record. So if you've got any pictures of any police or any people running the stop signs on a repetitive basis, all you have to do is bring them into me, and I will deal with the police chief, okay?
Again, you did, he did, and they started there and to repainting all the markings around there and everything else, and I appreciate that, and I thank you very much.
You're welcome.
But we need to take it to the next level, really.
Well-
We need to take it to the next level.
I heard you tonight.
Okay, Bill.
Bring in the pictures, I'll be able to, thanks,
Okay.
Sharon.
Thank you. Any other public comment?
Bart Quattelli, 114 North Lancaster Avenue. I wanted to comment a little bit about the gentleman that was on just before this last gentleman. He mentioned about the governor would not be very happy with the voters of Margate rejecting the dunes. And I'm with him. I think that that's what's going to happen. He's going to be very upset. But I think there's always a way to put things where it doesn't sound like this is my position and this is your position and that's all that's going to happen. I'm going to stand my ground. I don't think that's a good way to do it. But I think if you try to, I don't know if you'll get any chance to really discuss the thing, but you could say we really rejected the dunes. However, I'm sure that the voters of Margate would not be against the spirit of your intent, which is to protect the city of Margate. And they would be behind any effort to try to raise the bulkheads. And we would back that 100%, and I'm sure your votes will be very high in favor of raising the dunes. And I think that that would sound a lot more agreeable from the city of Margate standpoint and from the governor's standpoint, that you're not just standing here trying to go head to head with them and say, we don't want your dunes, keep them, or whatever. So I think that little, and if there is money, and he ever comes up with any money, or there's a piece of that sand dune money that can be used to raise the bulkheads, I think that that would be really a win. In addition, you can throw up the flyer that was handed out by the Army Corps of Engineers. And item number 11, it investigated various methods. And item number 11 in that handout actually goes into a little bit of a detail, and it talks about raising the bulkheads. And the way it was worded, it was kind of worded backwards. It said that raising the bulkheads, they found, is no better than the dunes. Well, I don't know if that means it's the same as the dunes. You know, it's no better than the dunes, but the dunes, as far as beach replenishment, is going to offer beach replenishment, whereas the bulkheads is not. Well, I don't think we lost the beach. So I don't know if we're fighting that particular thing. And then it dawned on me, you know what these dunes are? They're a reservoir of sand. So as the water hits them, they gradually deteriorate and fill in the beach. And when they're finally worn away, they have to replenish the dune again. They have to replenish your reservoir of sand. But it's no better than protecting, if you use the opposite look, it's no better than protecting the residents of Margate and their property than raising the bulkheads. So read item number 11 of their own handout. You'll get a big surprise.
Hey, Art.
Thank you.
Art, take a look at the resolution.
And thanks for that copy of that handout I stopped over, I guess.
Oh, okay. But take a look at the resolution as it's worded. I was asked by the commission to, and I believe the spirit and intent is there. It's not at all an argumentative thing. It's looking for a dialogue. So it, just like you said,
Right.
we don't have to be here and butting heads.
Right.
If you read it, you'll see that it does try to say, let's sit down and talk about this.
Yeah, I think there's a place for raising the dunes, and I think you'll have a tremendous response from the voters.
There's copies right there if you want to see one.
I'm going to take that.
Copies here, if not, here's one. It's, it has the general tone that you're talking about, the tone of this letter.
Item number 11 at the end does say the reason for rejection was it was too costly. If you read it, you'll be shocked, and I'm thinking, they didn't mention anything about cost. And then at the bottom it says too costly. Well, how did they get that? This is their brochure.
Yeah.
That was like a 4 or 5 page item.
And it was the
information.
cost-benefit analysis study that was done 10 years ago?
Right.
Yeah,
Correct.
it appears that no, this is what the Army Corps of Engineers handed out.
That's-
So they went through each item, each possible solution, and one of them was the dunes on item number 11. So thank you.
Thank you, Arnie. Anyone else? Motion to close public comment.
Make a motion that we close public comment?
Second.
Mr. Becker?
Yes.
Mr. Blumberg?
Yes.
Ms. Taube?
Yes.
Is there any public comment on resolutions or second readings of ordinances?
Sewell, 22 West Drive. Mayor, your undivided attention to resolution number 230. Once again, and for the sake of transparency, Mayor, can we have a specific number of brokers that are going to get $12.5 grand each for supposedly innovative risk solutions?
That's the name of the company, John, number one. Number two, there are 2 brokers, $12,500 each for a total of $25,000. And just for edification, on a contract like ours for Margate, I don't know the exact number for health, but it's in excess of I believe it's, whatever it is, say 2 million. The going rate for something like that is probably in the area of $80 to $90 to $100,000 commission fees, so we're getting...
So you say for 25 grand, it's cost effective? That's your
I believe-
professional opinion?
Absolutely.
All right, I'll take it.
Any other questions? Motion close public comment, please.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Mr. Becker?
Yes.
Blumberg?
Yes.
Ms. Talby?
Yes.
Mr. Hiltner?
Okay, we have the second reading of ordinance 22, authorizing the private sale of a portion of property, Block 19, Lot 9, and it's spelled out all the details. Second reading.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Mr. Becker?
Yes.
Mr. Blumberg?
Yes.
Ms. Talby?
Yes.
Here's both the minutes in the second reading. We have the first reading of ordinance 23, amending Chapter 175 Land Use, as previously discussed, and with one minor change. The description will say along Jerome Avenue from that of S60 to S30, as pointed out earlier by Roger Rubin. This is first reading. Second reading will be December the 5th at 5 p.m.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Mr. Becker?
Yes.
Mr. Blumberg?
Yes.
Ms. Talby?
Yes.
Number 24, fees of the Code of the City of Margate, increase in fire department emergency medical services as described. Second reading, December the 5th at 5 p.m.
Make that motion.
Second.
Mr. Becker?
Yes.
Blumberg?
Yes.
Ms. Talby?
Yes.
Resolution 224, payment of claims and payroll.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Mr. Becker?
Yes.
Mr. Blumberg?
Yes.
Ms. Talby?
Yes.
225, authorized payment to Colmar Home Center.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Mr. Blumberg?
Yes.
Ms. Talby?
Yes.
226, contract at DM billing for third-party ambulance billing.
I'll make the
that-
motion.
Second.
Mr. Becker?
Yes.
Mr. Blumberg?
Yes.
Ms. Talby?
Yes.
227, authorize the specifications for the annual cleaning and televising of sewer system.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
Mr. Becker?
Yes.
Mr. Blumberg?
Yes.
Ms. Talby?
Yes.
228, approves transfers in the 2013 budget.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Mr. Becker?
Yes.
Blumberg?
Yes.
Ms. Talby?
Yes.
229, approves the submit of a grant, the firefighters grant.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Mr. Becker?
Yes.
Mr. Blumberg?
Yes.
Ms. Talby?
Yes.
230, renews the previously discussed EUS contracts for professional insurance brokers.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Mr. Becker?
Yes.
Blumberg?
Yes.
Mr. Talby?
Yes.
231, approves a Chapter 159, approval of items of revenue and appropriation as a planning assistant grant.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Mr. Becker?
Yes.
Mr. Blumberg?
Yes.
Mr. Talby?
Yes.
And then we have the two additions that previously discussed. This will be Resolution 232, awarding a contract to Scalfo Electric in the amount of $64,500 for the replacement of the police department generator.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Mr. Becker?
Yes.
Mr. Blumberg?
Yes.
Ms. Talby?
Yes.
And then the final is 233, resolution recognizing the results of the electoral election referendum, November 5th bond binding referendum question, and requesting the state of New Jersey to remove Margate from its tentative project construction schedule.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second that motion.
Mr. Becker?
Yes.
Mr. Blumberg?
Yes.
Ms. Talby?
Yes.
That's all I have, I think.
There being no further business, is there a motion for adjournment?
I'll make the motion that we adjourn.
I'll second
Mr.
that.
Becker?
Yes.
Mr. Blumberg?
Yes.
Ms. Talby?
Yes.
Thank you all, and happy Thanksgiving.
Good job.